The Tau. They got blue skin, big guns, and for some reason, everybody hates their guts. But why? Is it the lore, the models, the rules? Either way, for God's sake, stop making weird horny art about them, and the same goes for all of you putting cat ears on your Sisters of Battle. You know who you are. Now, it's worth saying, the Tau were my first faction, and I'm really proud of my army, but even I hate them sometimes. Anyway, my name's Nick, this is Miniature Death, and we're going to talk about Tau hate, and ask if that hate is justified. First up, the lore. Warhammer 40k is not a nice place. In fact, it's a really, really bad place. Since the 1980s, everything has been horrible, all the time. Despite what some people say, there are no good guys, or at least even the good guys are psychopathic, warmongering, dogmatic freaks. Hell is real, death is constant, the suffering never stops. And then, in the year 2001, along came the Tau. And for some people, they were way too squeaky clean. Suddenly, there's this new race of bright blue aliens that are sleek, fresh-faced and optimistic, and keep talking about the greater good. What do you mean you're trying to make the galaxy a better place? What do you mean you're not just trying to murder everybody? Plus, a lot of people also think the Tau are a little bit, well, communist. Collective action, a fair and equal society, from each according to their ability to each according to their needs. That sort of stuff. But are the Tau actually communist? And are they even meant to be the good guys? Or maybe they're meant to provide some much needed contrast to all that grim darkness. What if, instead of making the greater good a reality, they're actually just naive, unprepared idiots, doomed to fail just like every other race? For all their good intentions, the Tau are basically babies, ignorantly sticking their fingers into the plug sockets of outer space, slowly learning that their positive, can-do attitude is absolutely meaningless. Because if you don't have hopes and dreams, then how can everybody else brutally crush them? There's this one great story where a Tau comes across a Space Marine dreadnought, which they've never really encountered before, and it slowly dawns on them that the ancient corpse entombed in this Baroque death machine is in fact older than the entire Tau civilization. If that's not grimdark, albeit quite a nuanced form of grimdark, then I don't know what is. Plus, one of Games Workshop's original designers for the Tau, Gav Thorpe, has said he was inspired by global military organizations like NATO, using seemingly innocuous three-letter acronym formations like Mobilized Hunter Cadre and Forward Commitment Contingent. Stuff that didn't explicitly mention war or violence, but instead represented a darkly sanitized, subtly sinister attitude to military expansion and population control. As for the communist stuff, well, the Tau literally have a caste-based society. Everyone has a predetermined role that they cannot change from, and everybody is equal, but maybe some roles are more equal than others. And they do tend to be a bit more fair and equal and inclusive than everybody else in 40k, so I can see where people are coming from here. And we don't even need to mention all the overtly spooky, mustache-twirling, creepy mind control stuff that the Ethereals may or may not be up to. Plus the forced sterilization of human beings who join the Empire. Maybe these little blue buggers are grimdark after all. What do you think? Okay, next up, the models. Let's be real, the Tau look a lot like Gundam. And if not quite Gundam, then definitely generic Japanese anime-inspired aesthetics. Big, slick robots with pilots tucked away safely inside. Very 21st century futuristic and fancy and very at odds with almost every other army in the setting. Clean, flat panels, smooth curves, everything looks very angular and efficient, a little bit Apple Store, a little bit Elon Musk. And I guess we also need to address the horny problem, and maybe the reason you clicked on this video. Sorry for the engagement bait. Because a certain subsection of the Tau fandom love getting, shall we say, creative with their imagination. Maybe it's the Japanese-inspired style that makes people want to make sexy anime cartoons, I don't know. For the more chill fans like myself, I've got to say, it's kinda cringe-inducing seeing endless fan art of large-chested Shadow Sun shared online. You're making the rest of us look bad. Just be normal, I beg of you. Now, like I said earlier, I kinda love the Tau aesthetic. I've got a whole army of these little guys, and I painted them bright pink, because I figured everyone was gonna hate them anyway, so why not lean into being as annoying as possible? Also, one thing to remember, the Tau are not fish. They're cows. They have hooves. They just, for some reason, have a lot of tanks and robots that are named after fish. The Ghost Keel in particular might be, for me, one of the coolest models in the Warhammer range. But yeah, put that bad boy next to a Forge Fiend or a Greater Demon or even just a Rhino and it does look a bit out of place. Of course, the Tau Empire models aren't just big robots. There's also the Vespid, who thankfully got a much needed glow up with their latest Kill Team release, so now they don't look totally hideous and instead look incredibly aggressive and freaky. And of course, there's the Kroot, the total opposite to the cleanliness of the Tau, with lots of techno-barbarism and cannibalism and spikes and blades and tattoos and flesh. I mean, those new Rampager models are absolutely gorgeous. Come on, man. You can't say that's not badass. Here's hoping we get more sculpts for more of the species in the Tau Empire, like the giant psychic space bears, the Nikasar. So when it comes to aesthetics, yeah, I kind of fully understand the hate. The Tau Empire do stick out like a sore thumb, but for me, that provides some, again, much needed contrast. I think really it's a matter of taste. It's all down to whether or not you watched Ghost in the Shell as a kid, or whether you went outside and were normal. Alright, next up, the tabletop. I think this might be the #1 source of Tau hatred, really. Because when these bad boys came out of the gate in 2001, they were brutally oppressive. Their whole thing is having better guns than everybody else. So if you were facing them across the tabletop, you were likely to get shot off the board before you ever got into combat. The #1 complaint over the years has been that Tau tend to be uninteractive, as in, you often don't get a chance to punch them in the face like they deserve. And there have been quite a few unfun, uninteractive combos in the Tau army. Fish of Fury, where a devilfish would scoot up and a bunch of lads would pile out and shoot you to death and be basically unchargeable. Free Overwatch on the whole army, which just punished the opponent for daring to do simple things like move. A lot of move shoot move strats, so Tau units can just pop out, shoot you and then pop back into safety. Crisis Suit Death Stars with 1 billion guns that could kill God. And the infamous Triptide. 3 Riptides, offensively good guns, crazy fast, and really hard to kill. Well, the Triptide is still kind of a thing really, but don't worry, I'm chill, I've only got 2. A lot of it comes down to Games Workshop just being bad at balancing their games. Either the Tau are brutally oppressive, or they just fold like paper. They're rarely in that sweet spot in the middle. I guess, because their whole thing is no melee, they kinda have to have stupidly good shooting to make up for it. For most of their history, as far as I can glean, Tau haven't actually been that strong in terms of competitive performance. But people really remember the times when they were, because it's a particularly distasteful flavour of strong. They feel worse than they are, and how things feel should matter to players. I also think that choosing Tau as my first faction was actually kind of a bad choice. Why? Because I didn't even learn how an entire phase of the game worked for like a year. Every time it came to the melee phase, I was just like, sure mate, whatever you say, I guess that's how pile and consolidate works. Oh look, cool, I'm dead. And let's be honest, melee players, it does feel incredibly satisfying when you finally do get into combat and you do smash their stupid little blue faces in. Which kind of brings me to what is kind of the point of this whole video. Hate is good. It's fun to hate things. It's fun to complain. It's fun to have a whipping boy. Hating Tau has become a bit of a meme at this point. It's like purple orcs being invisible, or saying Magnus did nothing wrong, or Gulliman shagging that elf lady, or whatever he did. Whenever I rock up at my Warhammer club with Tau, the odds are someone is going to come up and say something cheeky. And is that going to ruin my day? Not really, no. It's a conversation starter, a joke that we're all in on, because I know there's no real malice there. I mean, at least I'm not playing Ultramarines. If someone actually genuinely hates you because of your specific brand of space warriors, then you just need to remember, we're all losers in this hobby. Alright then, are you a Tau hater, or are you a secret weeboo like me and you love big beautiful robots? Let me know down in the comments. My name's Nick, this is Miniature Death, and don't forget to subscribe for the greater good.